It was December 26, 1996, in the affluent town of Boulder, Colorado. The festive cheer of Christmas lingered in the air, but in the stately Ramsey residence, a nightmare was about to unfold. Patsy Ramsey, frantic and distraught, made a chilling phone call to the police, a call that would send shockwaves across the nation. Her 6-year-old daughter, JonBenét, was missing. The scene that greeted the police was chaotic and confusing. A ransom note, unusually long and rambling, lay on the back staircase, demanding a bizarre sum of money for the safe return of young JonBenét. Yet something about the scene felt off, out of place, like a carefully constructed stage play. There were no signs of forced entry, no tracks in the snow outside the house, no indication of a struggle. As hours turned into an agonizing wait, the police, the media, and the entire nation held their breath, hoping against hope for the safe return of the little girl with the radiant smile. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. In a tragic turn of events, John Ramsey, JonBenét's father, made a horrifying discovery in the basement of their home, his precious daughter's lifeless body concealed in a little-used room. The news of JonBenét Ramsey's death spread like wildfire, engulfing the nation in a wave of shock, disbelief, and profound sadness. The image of the beautiful, blonde-haired, blue-eyed child dressed in her pageant finery became seared into the collective memory of America, a stark and painful reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the veneer of normalcy. JonBenét Ramsey, with her infectious smile and sparkling personality, was the epitome of childhood innocence. Born on August 6, 1990, she was the apple of her parents' eyes, a little princess living in a seemingly perfect world. Her life, however, was far from ordinary. From a young age, JonBenét was thrust into the world of child beauty pageants, captivating audiences with her charm and winning numerous titles. She was a natural performer, at ease on stage, her youthful exuberance shining through every dance move and every smile. But behind the glitz and glamour of the pageant circuit, there were whispers of the pressures and demands placed upon these young contestants, a world where childhood innocence often collided with the harsh realities of adult ambition. JonBenét's family, the Ramseys, were a picture of success and affluence. John Ramsey, a successful businessman, was living the American dream, while Patsy, a former beauty queen herself, dedicated her life to her children. They were the envy of many, living in a sprawling Tudor-style home in an upscale neighborhood. Yet, even in paradise, shadows can lurk. The Ramsey household, like many others, had its share of secrets. There were tensions, unspoken resentments, and a palpable distance between John and his eldest daughter from a previous marriage. Little did they know that their seemingly perfect life was about to be shattered, their darkest secrets exposed under the harsh glare of the media spotlight. The day began like any other in the Ramsey household. It was the day after Christmas, and the remnants of the previous day's festivities still lingered in the air. Presents were unwrapped, laughter filled the house, and the aroma of a hearty breakfast wafted from the kitchen. But this semblance of normalcy was not to last. Patsy Ramsey, still drowsy from the previous night's celebrations, stumbled upon a sight that would send chills down her spine. On the back staircase, a handwritten ransom note, 2.5 pages long, lay ominously. The note, addressed to John Ramsey, claimed that JonBenét had been kidnapped and demanded a hefty ransom for her safe return. Panic and confusion ensued. Patsy, frantic and beside herself with worry, immediately contacted the police. The house was soon swarming with law enforcement officers, their every move scrutinized by a growing media contingent camped outside. The clock was ticking, and the fate of young JonBenét hung precariously in the balance. Despite the gravity of the situation, there were inconsistencies from the start. The ransom amount, a curiously specific sum of $118,000, mirrored the exact amount of John Ramsey's recent bonus. The note itself, penned on a notepad from the house, was oddly formal and rambling, almost as if it were scripted from a Hollywood movie. And then there was the lack of forced entry. No fingerprints, no signs of a struggle. leaving investigators puzzled and casting a long shadow of suspicion over the Ramsey family. The ransom note found in the Ramsey home was more than just a demand for money. It was an enigma wrapped in a mystery. Its unusual length, rambling tone, and specific details set it apart from typical ransom notes, raising more questions than answers. Who would write such a long, almost theatrical note, and what was their true motive? The note was penned on a notepad that belonged to the Ramseys, further deepening the mystery. Why would a kidnapper use materials readily available at the crime scene? It seemed almost too convenient, too staged, as if someone were trying to mislead the investigators. The handwriting on the note became a focal point of the investigation. Was it Patsy's writing, as some handwriting experts suggested, or was it someone deliberately trying to mimic her style? The debate raged on, fueling speculation and casting a long shadow of doubt over the entire case. Years later, despite advances in forensic technology, the ransom note remains a puzzle, its secrets locked away, its true author a mystery. It stands as a silent witness to a crime that continues to baffle and intrigue, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can invade even the most seemingly perfect of lives. Section 5. Whispers and Speculation. As news of JonBenét's murder spread, the small town of Boulder, Colorado, became the epicenter of a media frenzy. Journalists and news crews from across the country descended upon the town, eager to uncover the truth behind this horrific crime. The Ramseys, initially cooperative with the police, soon found themselves under intense scrutiny. The media, hungry for any scrap of information, scrutinized every aspect of the family's life. Their wealth, their seemingly perfect facade, and their unusual behavior in the aftermath of JonBenét's death became fodder for endless speculation. The court of public opinion was in session, and the Ramseys, whether guilty or innocent, were the accused. Theories about JonBenét's murder ran rampant, ranging from the plausible to the outlandish. Some whispered about an intruder, a predator lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. Others pointed fingers at the Ramseys themselves, speculating about a tragic accident covered up, a family secret gone horribly wrong. The lack of concrete evidence and the constant media attention fueled a firestorm of conspiracy theories. Was JonBenét's murder the work of a satanic cult? Was it a revenge killing linked to John Ramsey's business dealings? The truth, however, remained elusive, lost in a maze of speculation, conjecture, and half-truths. The investigation into JonBenét's murder took a dramatic turn when the focus shifted to the Ramsey family themselves. The lack of forced entry, the inconsistencies in their accounts of the events, and their seemingly rehearsed demeanor during media appearances raised red flags for the police. John and Patsy Ramsey, once grieving parents seeking justice for their daughter, were now the prime suspects in her murder. The public, bombarded with images of JonBenét's perfect life and the seemingly picture-perfect family, struggled to reconcile this image with the possibility that one or both parents could be responsible for such a heinous crime. The police, however, were convinced that the Ramseys were hiding something. They pointed to Patsy's behavior, her seemingly staged 911 call, and her reluctance to fully cooperate with the investigation. They scrutinized John's actions, his discovery of JonBenét's body in the basement, and his attempts to cover up evidence. The investigation became a media circus, with every detail of the family's life dissected and debated. Were they victims of a terrible tragedy, or master manipulators trying to cover their tracks? The question remained unanswered, casting a long shadow over the family and forever changing their lives. Despite years of investigation, countless interviews, and advances in forensic technology, the murder of JonBenét Ramsey remains unsolved. The initial investigation, marred by missteps and a lack of communication between the police and the district attorney's office, failed to produce any concrete leads. DNA evidence collected from the crime scene initially seemed like the key to unlocking the mystery. However, the DNA, while pointing to an unknown male, did not match any family members or anyone in the national database. The identity of the source of the DNA remains a mystery, further deepening the intrigue surrounding the case. The grand jury proceedings, shrouded in secrecy, offered a glimmer of hope for a resolution. However, after hearing months of testimony and reviewing mountains of evidence, the grand jury decided not to indict anyone in connection with JonBenét's murder. The lack of a conviction left many wondering if justice would ever be served for JonBenét. The case, once a national obsession, faded from the headlines, but the questions lingered. Who killed JonBenét Ramsey and why? Was it a random act of violence, a family tragedy, or a carefully orchestrated crime that went undetected? More than 2 decades after that fateful Christmas, the murder of JonBenét Ramsey continues to haunt the American psyche. The image of her cherubic face, frozen in time, serves as a constant reminder of the fragility of innocence and the enduring power of unanswered questions. The lack of a conviction in the case has only fueled speculation and conspiracy theories. Books, documentaries, and internet forums are dedicated to dissecting every detail of the case, proposing new theories and pointing fingers in every direction. Was it an intruder, a family member, or someone known to the Ramseys? The ransom note, the lack of forced entry, the DNA evidence, the family's behavior, all pieces of a complex puzzle that investigators have been unable to fully assemble. The truth, it seems, remains elusive, buried under layers of speculation, conjecture, and the passage of time. The case serves as a stark reminder of the limitations of our justice system, the power of doubt, and the enduring impact of a crime that shook a nation to its core. It is a story without an ending, a mystery that continues to captivate and confound, leaving us with more questions than answers. The murder of JonBenét Ramsey is more than just a cold case. It is a cultural touchstone, a story that has become ingrained in the American consciousness. It is a tale that speaks to our deepest fears, our fascination with the macabre, and our insatiable desire for answers. The case has had a profound impact on our criminal justice system, highlighting the importance of forensic evidence, the role of the media in high-profile cases, and the challenges of investigating crimes that capture the public's imagination. JonBenét's legacy extends beyond the tragic circumstances of her death. She has become a symbol of lost innocence, the enduring power of the media, and the importance of seeking justice for victims of violent crimes. The mystery surrounding her murder continues to fascinate and frustrate, a stark reminder that some questions may never have definitive answers. Yet the search for truth, however elusive, continues, fueled by the hope that one day, justice will be served, and the world will finally know what happened to JonBenét Ramsey. Who killed JonBenét, and why? The answer, like a whisper in the wind, remains just out of reach, a chilling reminder of the enduring power of mystery.